All right, this is another JAZZIZ Travelogue coming to you from the Caramoor Jazz Festival in Katonah, New York. Let's do it. All right, well, we're here on the grounds of Caramoor. I just wanted to show you a little bit around the place as we're serenaded by an early set in the background, and just walk you through the lay of the land so that we get a feel for it. This beautiful, I don't know what kind of architecture this is, Venetian, Italian, but these are the grounds. The main event is kind of happening up ahead, but throughout the venue are gardens. This is the Sunken Garden, they call it. And you just kind of walk through, stay in the shade, cool down, and it's a really intimate fest. You know, if you're in the area, if you're in New York and you want a nice weekend getaway, kind of a quiet fest, low key, you can get real up close and personal with the musicians, get up tight to the stage. This is the place to do it. I think we're coming up on Friends Field now, and this is where the bulk of the programming takes place. This is where they have the food vendors set up and whatnot, and yeah, you can hear we've already gotten started. We'll be floating around throughout the day and hopefully speaking with some musicians, but I just wanted to give you an introduction to lay of the land in this first chapter of the travelogue. So let's head on into Friends Field. I mentioned the on-site food and drink, and here it is. This is from the proprietary food service here. So this is where you can get the food that they regularly serve on Caramoor grounds. You know, sandwiches, beers, wine, a lot of great local stuff. Here's where you pick up your picnic basket. I mentioned those picnic baskets. Here's where you can pick yours up if you reserved it. Of course, Ben & Jerry's, very popular on a day like today. They keep it pretty simple, you know, they keep it compact because there's not more that you need food-wise. Good local grub, and of course, amazing jazz programmed by Jazz in Lincoln Center. So we'll continue to check out what's going on. All right, well, we just wrapped up with the Isaiah Thompson Quartet. Beautiful program of jazz. He's definitely a piano player worth checking out. That was at Friends Field. We're headed now to one of the ground's air-conditioned venues, the music room, to go hear the vocalist Brianna Thomas. So we're headed into the Rosen House to hear Brianna Thomas and Danny Mixon. We're going in the music room. It's air-conditioned, so that'll feel nice. But this is the architecture on the grounds here, kind of a Italianate style, I think. And you can see the gardens, you can see the houses, the architecture, the ironwork on the gates and windows. So we'll head in to go hear Brianna Thomas and Danny Mixon, and I'll let you know how it is once it's done.
Someone waits for me, there surely is sweet and so is it. Bye, 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 blackbird. No one here can love or understand me. No, what hard luck stories they all have me. I'm gonna make my bed, life and life. I'm a right late tonight, blackbird. Bye, bye, bye.
All right, well, Brianna Thomas and her accompanist, pianist Danny Mixon, just wrapped in the music room, and it was a gorgeous set. It was gorgeous. It was short, it's about a half an hour. They keep them brief here so you can hear everything. But what a soulful singer she is. Just a beautiful voice, very informed by gospel and the blues. So she did a rendition of Bye Bye Blackbird that was stunning, What a Wonderful World that was stunning, and she closed with this kind of risque Ella Fitzgerald blues that had everybody cracking up. But everything she touched was just like infused with soul. She's got a wonderful voice, and apparently a new album coming out in January, so we'll have to be on the lookout for that. And in combination with Danny Mixon, an awesome pianist. That was just a match made in heaven. All right, I wanted to take you now through one of the trails here to the Sunken Garden, where Jorge Glem is playing. But as you can see, I mean, this is your venue here out in nature. This is just gorgeous. Even got some wind chimes in the back. But oh, sorry if I'm spinning too fast. Yeah, this is where you get to hear jazz at Caramoor. So we'll walk up through this archway here and into the Sunken Gardens. And here's the actual Sunken Garden itself, as you can see. Another gorgeous venue here. I'll take you out as Jorge plays through one of the paths they have to get here. Because that's beautiful too. Down through the steps. I mean, this is what you're listening to jazz in. Out in nature. It's this pretty everywhere you look. And now we can get it on both sides. So we got Jorge Glem in one ear and I believe the Andrea Motis quintet in the other. So kind of some surround sound. This way will take us back around to Friends Field, into the VIP tent, food, everything we need. All right, and I mentioned that VIP suite. Here it is, kind of in action. People come through and you can grab a bite, grab a drink. If you're a Caramoor member, you get access to this VIP tent. Get to hang in the shade. Looks like they're setting up for dinner over there as well. And right now we've got the sounds of the jazz at Lincoln Center, kind of like a youth combo here. They're providing the dinner music, so to speak. And their version is really swinging. So, all right, and as the trumpeter and vocalist Andrea Motis plays us out with some very nice bossa nova here, we're going to head over to the Spanish Courtyard and hear Lakecia Benjamin, an amazing alto saxophonist. She's doing a tribute to John Coltrane. All right, well, that's great stuff as always from Lakecia Benjamin. It was a John Coltrane tribute, and well, she's really the one to do it. She has toured with Rashid Ali, who's a drummer in John Coltrane's group in the last end of John's life, and she played in Rashid's group in the last couple of years of Rashid's life. So, and not only that, but as she explained to the audience, she lived on Alice Coltrane's ashram out in California. So she knows her Coltrane. She explained that she's coming out with an album. She's going to be recording an album, actually, in August of this material. And it's going to be a tribute half to John Coltrane and half to Alice Coltrane. It was a great set. It's still going on behind me. She invited up the vocalist Sharni Wade to sing the lyrics she wrote for John Coltrane's Central Park West. So that's just what's wrapping up right now. Right now, we're going to head over to the Art Blakey tribute. And then a little later, I lied. There's actually another tribute from the drummer Willie Jones III to Roy Hargrove, the trumpeter Roy Hargrove, who recently passed away. So it's all in store. Stick around. We'll be coming to more concerts as they come, and hopefully I'll be able to show you what I can. But thanks for sticking around. Now to the garden stage to hear the Art Blakey tribute. You can kind of hear the front line there in the background, the trombone and trumpet. And so yeah, this is at the garden stage in this building here, and we'll try to listen to as much music as we can. But in we go. All right, yeah, that was great stuff. So it was an Art Blakey tribute. The leader of that group was Cedric Easton, who's the drummer. And he was just explaining that Art Blakey was like a hero to him. His music helped him through some tough times, you know, in his young adulthood. And yeah, he had a pretty classic front line with him with, it was trumpet, and it was tenor sax, bass player, and drums. So kept it simple. As you saw, it was a small venue. So, you know, it was all acoustic, which is a really powerful way to hear jazz. It really connects you with the music. So, yeah, great set from Cedric Easton. That was the Art Blakey tribute, because again, this is Art Blakey's centennial year. He was born October 1919, and we'll be celebrating his 100th anniversary in an upcoming print issue. So if you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe, both to our print edition and our YouTube channel. Visit us at JAZZIZ.com to learn more. That set by Sammy Miller and the congregation was just incredible. It was a party. Everybody was up on their feet. That may have been my favorite set of the entire festival. There's so much energy. He's hilarious. He writes these original songs. That's got to be the funniest jazz band out right now, period. And he's also an incredible drummer. Wonderful horn section with Alfonso Horn and the trumpet there. They just groove. They groove hard, and their songs connect with people. They're engaging. They're funny. They're coming out with a new album, supposed to be due out around October, is what Sammy told me. So when that comes out, we will definitely let you know, and we're going to try to speak with Sammy via podcast or an interview online. So be on the lookout for that as well. We're going to head over now to Etienne Charles. He's a trumpet player. He's performed with his Creole Soul Ensemble, which is merges jazz with traditional musics of the Caribbean. So that's what you hear in the background now. That's in the big Venetian Theater. So we'll make our way up there, and we'll show you what we can show you. All right, so yeah, and a nice set there from Etienne Charles. As you can hear him, he's still playing. They're in the middle of Redemption Song by Bob Marley. He's an incredible trumpet player and a percussionist as well. He's from Trinidad, and he, for this set, had Jorge Glem, who we saw earlier on the Cuatro string instrument in his band. Jorge's from Venezuela, and Etienne was explaining that, you know, at their closest point, Venezuela and Trinidad are like something like 8 miles apart. So a lot of Pan-Caribbean influence. but also a lot of just straight ahead jazz, some late period Miles stuff they were getting into. It was a great band too, with Ben Williams on bass, Godwin Louis on saxophone, Obed Calvert on drums. A really, really grooving group. All right, now with the sun shining brightly in my face, I'm headed over to go see the Roy Hargrove tribute that is led by the drummer Willie Jones III. I can hear it already coming out of the Spanish courtyard, and it sounds really, really good. So can't wait to get in there and maybe even show you a bit. And yeah, just an absolutely banging set from Willie Jones III. That Roy Hargrove tribute was incredible. Really brought the spirit of Roy, his soul, his funk, his groove. It was all there. And Willie, what a touch on the drums! What a touch! He's like a semi-truck that just comes up behind you. Man, he has such drive, such energy, but at the same time, his ballad work is just so subtle. You know, it's just exactly the right amount when it needs to be that amount. So yeah, kudos to Willie Jones. That was a fabulous set. And I could tell the audience was really, really digging it. He mentioned that he has a new album coming out with his bassist, and in that group, Gerald Clayton. Supposed to be coming out in October, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. But in the meantime, things are starting to wrap up here. You could hear the roving trio out on the Friends Field, and Bobby Sanabria is going to give a talk on kind of jazz and Latin rhythms, and then we're going to wrap things up with Eddie Palmieri. So almost done with Caramoor Jazz Fest. Having a great time, and seems like so is everyone else. We have funneled our way into the Venetian Theater, which you can see behind me with the stage and tent all lit up, is happening. It looks cool and it's packed. A lot of people have turned out to see Eddie Palmieri, tonight's ticketed event. So we'll probably be able to show you a little bit of it, and then that'll be it for the 2019 Caramoor Jazz Fest. So thanks for coming along, and yeah, this is a really exciting way to end it. Caramoor wraps up, and you could hear Eddie Palmieri's band finishing up behind me. I just want to say how awesome of a concert that was. Can't stop smiling because, I mean, he's 82 years old, Eddie Palmieri, and he, in a lot of ways, is one of the originators of this New York hard salsa sound. So you're hearing it right from the source, and it is just as energetic. It's just as spirited. It's just as infectious as it was when he first started playing it. There was hardly anybody sitting in their seats by the end of that thing. It was impossible not to dance. It took everything in my power not to shake the camera as I was filming that opening song that I showed you. Yeah, Eddie Palmieri, if you get a chance to see him, absolutely go do it. It's a party on stage. The band is phenomenal. The vocals were perfect. Love the harmonies. Horn section sounded great. Percussion obviously was really happening. Yeah, it was a great way to end the Caramoor Jazz Fest. And I just want to say once again how much I enjoyed being here and really how pleasant this fest was. I recommend anybody considering for next year, go buy the ticket, come and check it out. You'll have a great time. I'm going to close just by playing a little bit of the final song of Eddie Palmieri's set, and I'll just say thanks for following along again with this JAZZIZ Travelogue. Like us, subscribe to us on Facebook, and check out our magazine too. If you go to our website, click the subscribe button. We have all kinds of options, starting with digital subscription all the way up to print plus digital plus 8 collector's CDs. So check us out at jazziz.com. Follow us on social media. And we'll see you somewhere else in the world next time. Bye-bye, everyone.